It's the world's entertainment capital. An oasis of excess in the Nevada desert, attracting more than 40 million people each year.
It's like a Disneyland for adults.
Where high rollers gamble, drink,
a lot of alcohol pool, a lot.
Visitors stuff themselves, and celebrate non-stop.
Coming out to Las Vegas with a group of guys in the stag party, a lot of times it ends up that they're doing everything bad.
Here, nothing's off limits, and anything can be bought.
I've spent thousands of dollars to look like this. I had a Brazilian butt lift.
It's the ultimate party destination. What's happened in Vegas has always stayed in Vegas. Until now. This time, drink, drugs, and driving. The cops keeping Vegas safe.
Do you feel you should be on the roadways this evening?
No, I should not have been.
I agree with you.
Scots on the Strip. A Tarzan invasion at Elvis's favorite hotel.
It's nuts.
And, after being hired, will this hopeful star get fired?
She doesn't get better. I don't know if she's going to go on that stage.
5, 6, and 7, 8, 1.
Las Vegas is known as Sin City for good reason. It's where visitors can drink, gamble, and sample everything else on offer, far away from prying eyes. The main route for revelers driving to its remote desert location is Interstate 15.
86, black car, number 1.
8 a.m. and the Nevada Highway Patrol are keeping a close eye on the thousands coming in. They see drunk drivers, crashes, and guns every day. But the biggest killer is speed.
Our job is to patrol this area, show a presence, and slow the traffic down. Seems like once they get to Nevada, people see that as an opportunity to hammer down and get into town and start partying.
A decade ago, Interstate 15 became known as the deadliest road in America, a reputation the troopers are keen to break.
So we have our LiDAR gun, and we're going to look for speeders. The highest speed limit we've had out here was 186, I believe. A few months ago we had 142, with the speed limit being 70. That's double the speed limit. You are going to go to jail if you're driving that fast. We won't be standing out here too long. We're going to find the speeders. They're coming. They're ready to get to Vegas.
And for those already there, it may still be early morning, but the Vegas party is already in full swing.
How's it going today?
At the Westgate, the hotel that was once Elvis Presley's home, director Gordon Prouty is preparing for a king-size challenge.
Is everybody behaving themselves today?
Oh, yeah.
This is the big party day, you know.
I know.
Well, I think they've been in a good mood since about 6 o'clock this morning. So.
Oh, I know.
Gordon's used to dealing with high-level business conventions, but this week he's hosting one with a difference.
You guys all look like you're enjoying yourselves here.
An international gathering of Glasgow Celtic football supporters.
We're here to party and have a good time.
It may only be 11 a.m., but the party is well underway.
We've been drinking for 3 days.
Very much.
Vegas is brilliant.
Hello. Are you having a great time?
Are you having a good time?
Well, I'm working, technically, so I might not be having as good a time as you are.
The big piece of pastry.
They come from all over North America. They come from the UK. This year, there's about 1,700 of them that are here.
So nice, sir.
Hey, this is for you guys. I got to have the green on for you. I'm trying to be a part of the whole group and show my support by wearing green throughout the week. So today I have my snappy green blazer on, and I'll find something green to wear every day while they're here with us.
Gordon might have understood the dress code. Getting to grips with the language is another matter.
Where are you from?
Well, originally from Ireland, but Scotland.
Oh, pardon me? All I know is that there will be a lot of people just enjoying Las Vegas. They're doing some gambling, they're doing some eating, mostly they're doing some drinking. And today's the special day because today is the day that they have their pool party. Everybody going to 3?
Back on Interstate 15, the state troopers clock the first speeding driver of the day.
There we go, get in. $91 miles an hour. He tried to duck in between these cars up here.
Instead of pulling over, this driver's putting his foot down.
They think that if they get up far enough ahead of us, we're not going to know it's them. You just have to keep eyes on them.
Finally, the car stops.
So what took you so long to pull over?
We didn't even know you were behind us.
You knew you were speeding?
No, yeah, but I'm going to go out for the first exit. That's how I'm going to...
well, don't. All right, let me see your license and registration. I would say it's just typical speed out here. I've stopped elderly individuals driving vehicles that I was actually surprised they even went 90 miles an hour that are doing well over 100.
We're driving?
I'm driving to Vegas to
have a good time.
I had a business in Vegas today. That's not driving.
If we were driving 95,
I don't drive,
then we would have been there 2 hours ago.
I don't drive 95.
Yeah, could we give him a warning? Sure. Is he going to get one? No. I'm back.
Instead, this driver's getting a speeding ticket for $198. Not the best start to his Vegas visit.
You got to slow down, man.
Slow down, man.
Hey, have fun. Be careful. Slow down. They just need to understand, Vegas isn't going anywhere. Hey, come to Vegas and have fun, but arrive alive. If you can't get there safely, you're not going to have any fun if your friends are picking you up off the side of the road.
Midday, and hotel director Gordon checks up on the Celtic fans' pool party.
All the way in from Ireland. All right.
For the highlight of their week-long get-together, the hotel's given them the run of the entire pool deck.
Are you ready? This is Las Vegas. This is us. Here we go. Sing it.
Hey, well, you got the trunks on. You're all set. It's quite a party. But people have been here since the pool opened at 9 o'clock this morning. Yeah, I'd say we're getting close to, if not already, 1,000 people. It'll get more crowded, though.
Although this is the first time he's looked after a British football crowd, Gordon's quickly learned how to keep them happy.
Typically, we never open the bars till 10, but this week the bars have been open at 9 o'clock. In fact, the bars all over the property continue to be open. The alcohol sales are significantly higher this week than on a typical day. And let's just say there's a steady flow of people and a steady flow of beer, so it's all good.
We'll just keep on drinking beer and enjoy ourselves.
By 2 p.m., it looks like some have already had their fill.
It's nuts.
Wee wee.
Next,
1, 2.
after winning a part in Vegas's top theatre show, will this performer be ready for her debut?
I thought she was better in the audition.
Vegas's newest vice
I like to smoke weed.
flies off the shelves.
This is equivalent to about $8 million in retail. We go through this every 6 weeks. That's a lot of cannabis.
And the Nevada Highway Patrol is left policing the party.
Man, she's intoxicated. She's pretty trash.
Cognac.
Woo!
Las Vegas attracts the biggest names in entertainment, from the world's top singers to stage acts. And from Penn and Teller to David Copperfield, it's also the home of magic.
Showtime!
But for every headliner, there are scores of hopefuls looking for their big break.
You guys like magic? Want to see something incredible? All right, pick any card you want. No, not that one. Just kidding, that's an American joke. Take this marker, don't cut yourself, it's a Sharpie. Okay. Sign the face of your card. My name is Amazing Hatter. The dream is to eventually become a celebrity magician here in Nevada, holding my own casino show.
But this morning, the wannabe star is on the strip, making ends meet by busking for tourists.
I'll take your card, I'll lose it somewhere in the deck. Where are you from? Jersey. Jersey, welcome to the United States. Glad you could join us. I've been doing magic for approximately 6 years here in Nevada. I've been doing magic for about 17 years. Here we go. Was this your card? Two of hearts.
2 miles from the strip, another young hopeful is on the verge of her big break.
Hello, I'm Dominique Schuster.
Hi, Dominique.
A week ago, Dominique successfully auditioned for the part in Vegas the Show, a hit musical from producer David Sachs, the unofficial king of Vegas theater.
Out of all the girls that were there, this girl had such a presence and an aura about her. I just saw it instantly like, oh man, she's going to be great on stage.
Yes! Thank you for that. Thank you.
Plus she's hot.
The show plays to packed houses every night. But staging it costs $5 million a year. And hiring a new cast member is a major financial risk.
It's a really big investment to hire somebody. We have to do costumes and fittings and rehearsals, and there's just so much that goes into it. And if they're flaky and you do all that and leave or don't like being in the show or something, you just wasted tens of thousands of dollars.
Today's Dominique's first wardrobe fitting.
My dream since I was a little girl was to be a singer. I've been growing up watching shows on the Strip.
She'll be singing 6 songs in the show, and each one needs a different outfit.
So the next step is we'll try some clothes on.
Cool.
Yeah.
With her wardrobe bill alone totaling $15,000, the pressure's on to shine.
Inside, I'm freaking out. We start dance rehearsals next week. I'm worried about having to retain everything so quickly.
But adding pressure, David wants to get her stage ready in a matter of only weeks.
Normally it'd take about 3 weeks to get somebody fast-tracked in, but she only has 2 days a week available, so it's going to be the equivalent of less than a week getting her in. This is going to be tough.
I want to do a danger stunt for you guys, but I only want to do it if you want to see it. So if you want to see it, say hell yeah. All right, good. I was going to do it anyways.
For amateur magician Amazing Hatter, the sidewalk is his stage. And despite the risks, he's only attracted a small crowd.
I do a lot of danger stunts during my show, like hammer a nail in my face and swallow a dagger, so I definitely have to be very careful with the crowds out here because they can be a little drunk and not paying attention to where they're going. Down the hatch without a scratch. Yes.
One stunt definitely not to be tried at home.
If somebody bumps into the sword while it's down my throat, well, that's my own liability because I decided to stick it there.
That is insane.
All donations are welcome, tax-free, and non-refundable at this time. Thank you guys very much.
Until the big casinos come knocking, he relies purely on the goodwill of strangers.
Thank you. Well, thank you.
And with a new addition to his family, it's becoming increasingly important.
Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Recently, I just had my first kid. He's 15 days old today. Being a father is such a blessing, but it's one of the most stressful things I've ever done in my life.
Thank you.
Excuse me. Thank you, guys. I don't think I'll ever give up the dream of becoming a professional magician, but I might end up getting a regular job just trying to provide for my child as well. 14, 15, 16, $17. That's not too bad.
Sidewalk show's over. And in this fast-moving city, as quickly as an impromptu crowd gathers, it can magically disappear.
A 5, 6, 7, and 8 is when you...
Following her dress fitting, the hard work's just beginning for Dominique.
So today's the first day of Dominique's training. She is training there with Jen, and we're hoping, it doesn't happen very often, but sometimes we discover on the first day that they can't dance. They said they could. They're going to be awkward. So we're trying to ascertain if she's got what it takes to keep investing in her. It's a lot of money to get them trained, so I'm kind of spying on her to see if she can do it.
1, 2, and 3, and 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8.
Man, she's a little stiff. I'm getting concerned.
3, 4, 5. And that's a ooh, oh.
I'm smiling, but that's just because I needed to think I'm behind her.
1, 2, and 3, and 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8, 1.
It's a lot of material to learn. So I technically have 3 weeks to learn this entire show, which is probably the shortest amount of time I've ever had to learn a full show before.
To the right, to the left.
To have to learn all those lyrics with all those notes and harmonies, plus all of these dance moves, and put it with the cast is a little bit crazy.
Be my
I thought she was better in the audition. You know, she's doing okay. You know, giving her the benefit of the doubt because it's just rehearsals, but if she doesn't get better, I don't know if she's going to go on that stage.
Vegas! Ever since Vegas became a tourist resort, booze has fueled the fun.
Whiskey, everything.
Jack and Coke with 3 limes.
But now, there's a new vice available to visitors.
Welcome, Planet 13, the largest dispensary on planet Earth.
In 2017, Nevada legalized recreational cannabis use, causing stores like this to spring up all over Vegas. Planet 13 covers 100,000 square feet and is open all day, every day.
So we get all sorts of people to come and use the dispensary. Well, we have everybody from an 80-year-old person in a wheelchair to a 21-year-old, everything and anything in between.
I'm from London, I'm just here for a stag do for the weekend with some boys. I think it's great. I think it's so it's strange how it's just so all of a sudden socially acceptable and everyone just comes in and just buys it from a store. It's sick.
The store's been such a hit, co-founder Larry now sells around $70 million worth of cannabis every year. Among his customers, the odd visiting celebrity.
This is the Mike Tyson case. People come in and say, what does Mike Tyson smoke? Well, he smokes this. I want 2 of those, 1 of these, 1 of this. It's unbelievable. 1 gram is $20, and an ounce, which is a flower, is $380 an ounce. So it is like a fine wine.
And for those wanting to get high without the smoke, Larry has another solution.
This is the most guarded part of our whole dispensary, and this is like the casino cage where they store all the cash. We call it the vault. This is equivalent to about $8 million in retail. We go through this every 6 weeks. Well, that's a lot of cannabis. We put it into sweet items. We put it into baked items. We have chocolate-covered pretzels. Here are some more cookies and cream bars. It is every product you would normally eat in a grocery store, we now infuse with THC. This, for instance, is cannabis-infused mini cookies. It's for a Saturday morning, it says on it.
I'm mind-blown with all the shit they have here, to be honest with you. It's one of those things that are just like, when you walk up to one station, you walk to the next, and you're like, I gotta buy something, you know? It's definitely mind-grabbing as far as that goes for, like, huge stoners like myself.
We no longer call it taking drugs. It's using cannabis and using marijuana. Even now, you can have a 25-year-old that goes home with grandma and decides, do you want to share a joint for the first time? The whole family's involved. It's like, Grandma, do you want a beer? Well, now, do you want a joint, Grandma?
While smoking cannabis in the home, with or without grandma, is now legal, using it in a car is not. But, like the law against drink driving, this one's often ignored. It's Saturday night in central Las Vegas.
35 Secret David Tom on a black Toyota RAV4.
And Lieutenant Anthony Munoz gets a call to a driver suspected of being under the influence of drugs or alcohol, known as a DUI.
Our ultimate goal is to get impaired drivers before they crash. When we do that, we have saved a life.
According to reports, the car was driving dangerously on the freeway,
I'm not being combative.
and the troopers suspect the drivers had one too many.
Yes, you are being placed under arrest. Just
Okay.
like that, okay?
Okay, I'm just saying, I'm not being,
moving on me, all right?
listen, I'm not being combative or
Spread your feet.
anything.
You're not listening, though. Spread your feet.
Spread your feet today, just like that, all right? Don't move.
She's pretty trashed. Female driver is clearly intoxicated. He said she was going from one side of the road to the other.
Do you have anything on you that's going to stick me, poke me, drugs, nothing else?
So this is an ideal stop for us. Suspect's in custody, didn't crash, nobody's hurt.
I'm being cooperative. with
You've been
you
very
guys.
cooperative. We appreciate that.
Can you please go in my car and get my phone? Please?
Absolutely.
My son was calling me before you guys pulled me over.
All right, let me grab your phone for you.
But retrieving her phone leads the troopers straight to a piece of incriminating evidence.
You're looking at back here, there's some open container of alcohol back there.
Cognac. Oh, just
Woo.
As the cops now have all they need for an arrest, the driver will spend the night sobering up in jail.
kick your feet into it. I want to hit your foot. All right, brother.
The last thing we want to do is take someone to jail, but in the case with DUI, if she's not taken to jail, there's a risk she's going to get back behind the wheel and plow into someone. So she needs to be in jail until she's sober.
One case done. But this being Saturday night, there's no respite from the 911 calls.
6400, go ahead.
Next, high on the highway.
Her base leg that she was balancing on had tremors. That's very indicative of marijuana use.
The gut-busting Vegas grill that lives up to its name.
The Guinness Book of World Records gave the quadruple bypass burger the title of most calorific burger in the world.
And as the Celtic party switches from the pool to poker table, the football fan who knows all about losing.
I had nearly £500,000. 16 months later, I had nothing. Gamble.
Saturday night in Vegas. Since recreational cannabis was legalized here 2 years ago, crashes and deaths involving drug drivers have rocketed. And the Nevada State Troopers, who police the main roads, are busier than ever.
Unfortunately, with this job, you see a lot of things you're not supposed to see, such as fatalities from accidents that are a lot of times caused by impaired drivers.
Midway through his shift, Lieutenant Munoz gets another DUI call.
6400, go ahead.
Blue Dodge, brake protection.
Okay, we're going to a crash. Troopers are on scene. There's a passenger in the vehicle, but the driver fled.
Driving at 90 miles an hour, the troopers on the scene in minutes. A busy intersection in the middle of Las Vegas.
Looks like a rear-end crash. These two vehicles here that are loaded up on the tow truck were stopped at a red light. The blue vehicle failed to stop for the red light, struck the rear, spun a couple times, and ended up in the intersection where we found it.
Despite the damage, there are no serious injuries.
Here you go. Just write down what happened, just like I asked you to, okay?
The woman claiming to be the passenger of the vehicle is still at the scene. But her story isn't adding up.
She said she got out of the passenger side door. There's no way she did it. You can't open it due to the damage.
Did you bump your head in the crash at all? Probably. Okay.
Some of the witnesses identified her as the driver and observed her get into the passenger seat.
You were driving, you weren't wearing your seatbelt. That's how you busted your lip.
Certain she was the driver and not the passenger, the troopers need to determine if drink or drugs caused the crash.
Is there anything inside that car that we can know about? In the back seat?
You can hear her speech is extremely slurred and slow and drawn out. She admitted there is marijuana in the vehicle, and so the troop's going to put her on a field sobriety test right now, and we'll see how impaired she is.
If found to be high behind the wheel, she could face up to 6 years in jail.
What I want you to do is look off in that darkness, okay?
Troopers are trained to spot the telltale signs of drug use.
I want you to focus right here, okay? You're going to follow this using just your eyes. You're not going to move your head, you understand?
If the woman can't cross her eyes, known as a lack of convergence, it could be a sign she's stoned.
She has lack of convergence.
She's real slow.
Okay, turn around and face me.
There's one more test to be sure.
You're then going to look down at your toe. You're going to count out loud by thousands like so. 1001, 1002, 1003.
1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000.
Her base leg that she was balancing on had tremors. You can see it actually pulsating, and that's very indicative of marijuana use.
When she's come over here, turn around, face with me. I'm requesting you submit to an evidentiary test to detect the presence of alcohol and or drugs.
All signs are pointing to it being a case of drug driving. The cops need a blood sample, but they can't take one by force.
Will you submit to a blood test today?
No.
No? Okay. All right. I want you to understand, if you do not submit to a blood test, I'm going to apply for a warrant from a judge. If the judge grants that warrant, automatically your driver's license is going to be revoked for a year. So will you consent to a blood draw today? No? Okay. We'll take care of that.
The woman was later charged with driving under the influence of drugs. Her case is still awaiting trial in a Nevada court. Back on the Strip, stage hopeful Dominique's theatre debut is drawing ever closer.
2, 3, 4, 5. Ba-da-da, not quite yet.
Tonight's the dress rehearsal for Vegas, the show.
So tonight is my first time doing any of the show with the rest of the cast, so it's been a lot to take in. So many people, so many different things that I didn't even realize were going on.
So far, during her training, she's failed to impress her ruthless producer, David Sachs.
Nothing against her, but if she's not killer and like amazing, I can't put her on that stage. She has to step it up a little bit.
If she doesn't, her showbiz career will be over before it begins, and she'll go back to her 9-to-5 job in a bank.
She kind of has to nail it right away because we're all here late night after the shows. We're all tired. We want to go home, so it's a lot of pressure on her to get it right, nail it the first time.
One part of her act will be especially tough.
So let's just do the lift.
You're going to grab this boy's hand. As you're going up, you want to push down on that and push down here against this foot.
The hardest thing for me to learn was the lift.
And you want to shove your crotch to the sky and then cross and close your kitty.
I've never done anything like that before, especially while singing.
Does that make sense? Sure. Plie. 3, 5, 6. There it is. All right. Can we snap her back in?
With the first show just 3 days away, an unexpected wardrobe malfunction is the least of her worries.
So the next time I'm going to do it in costume is going to be on stage, which is so nerve-wracking. How am I going to sing and focus on the lift and make sure I don't fall and make sure my costume stays on?
It's the fastest we've ever had to get anyone into the show before, so I hope she's going to be ready. She better be ready.
Excess rules in Vegas, whether it's drink, drugs, gambling, or eating. And nowhere are the portions more filling, fattening, or potentially life-threatening than here.
These are the ashes of our most famous customer, patient, John Allman. He actually had a heart attack after eating here one day. He was a regular. He would eat here all the time.
This hospital-themed diner was founded by the self-professed physician, Dr. John.
The Heart Attack Grill is a completely different type of clinic. Now, my colleagues will prescribe green vegetables and gymnasium workouts. I give the patient exactly what they want, and that's a big burger, a bigger beer, some cigarettes, and maybe some ice cream.
Serving the so-called patients, a team of totally unqualified and definitely unregistered nurses.
So I'm Nurse Lola. I'm the one taking care of you. I got 12 blondies. Jello shots coming your way. Are you ready for food?
You can get a burger anywhere, but if you want the biggest burger, you gotta come here.
Boasting the biggest servings in town attracts the biggest customers.
Give that burger. Come on, baby. We're going to knock that burger out. My name is James Brown, a.k.a. Chef Brown. I'm from Wichita, Kansas, and we're here to, attack that big burger.
The Heart Attack Grill treats its heaviest patients the best.
285. Big boy weight.
Now, if you're over 350 pounds, we absolutely guarantee you that you are on the house.
At 20.5 stone, Chef Brown's too light to qualify for a free feed. But that's not going to stop him. He's brought his whole family over 1,000 miles to see him take on the octuple bypass burger. 8 half-pound beef patties, each topped with chili, 40 strips of bacon, 16 slices of cheese, all served in a bun coated with lard. Standing at 1.5 feet tall, this one meal contains his recommended calorie intake for 8 days.
Just bite that thing, Oh!
Can you help me?
Let that thing fall. Oh my God. My nephew is going.
If Chef fails to finish his burger, it'll be more than his pride that's hurt.
If you order something bigger than you can handle and you waste food, you've been a naughty boy.
Where else are you going to get a cute little nurse that spanks you if you don't finish your burger? It's therapy for me. I love it.
Good. Thank you.
While Chef gets ready for his monster burger challenge, staff at the Westgate Hotel also have their hands full. Nearly 2,000 Scottish football fans have been partying in the pool since early morning. But after 6 hours, Hotel Director Gordon's trying to persuade them to call it a day.
Have a good day. Thanks for being here. Thank you for being here. Well, things are starting to wrap up for the afternoon here. Everything has been great. Lots of beer sold, a few things of food sold. Only a couple people suffering from what we call over-serving here. Good time? Yeah? Take care. Thanks for being here.
While his fellow fans stay poolside,
£10. $10.
one of the party has opted to cool off at the hotel's poker tables.
I said £10 in the harbour. My name is Sinclair, but they call me Sinky.
Sinky may be devoted to Celtic FC, but he also has a second passion.
I love gambling. I've gambled all my life. I've gambled in Spain, England, Scotland, Ireland, tournaments, Isle of Man. I'm calling anyway. Okay.
So far, he's been losing.
He's not crying, so it can't be too bad.
I'm all in. Nope, he's king. Nice, huh? I knew it was evens.
Sinky's just lost $200 on a single hand. But for him, that's small fry.
I played for $1 million in the World Series on 2 occasions. I shouldn't have really said this. I had nearly £500,000. 16 months later, I had nothing. Gambling.
Customers here, you want to keep them gambling. You want to keep them at the table as long as you can. I mean, you want them to have an enjoyable experience.
Aces against ace-king, offsuit, a king on the flop, a king on the river.
Yeah. I knew you'd better than me. You're the one that said that. Have you got a 4? I went, oh, he's got a 5-4. I didn't have a 4. I told, but I knew I was beat.
As long as they're sitting at the table and spending money and not necessarily winning, that's a good thing for us.
My aces 3 times.
The thing about gambling is you can be down 1 minute and up again very quickly.
Get out of here.
It's just Sinky and one other player left in the hand.
140. 140.
140.
And Sinky's raised the stakes, betting $140.
He's going all in. He's got probably 10 more.
10 more. Well, I'm calling anyway. Okay.
His opponent matches the bet. Sinky's pair of kings means he has the edge for now. But that doesn't mean he'll win the hand.
Thank you.
But this Celtic supporter's luck holds out, winning $400.
What else can you do? Many would like to do it.
Coming up, the octuple bypass burger challenge gets underway. And stage fright for Dominique as her Vegas debut dawns.
Feeling nervous. I'm feeling like, can't even tell you my name right now.
At the northern end of the strip, the Heart Attack Grill's hosting its latest food challenge.
Let that thing fall.
Heavyweight customer Chef Brown's flown 1,000 miles to get his teeth into the infamous octuple bypass burger. Total calories, 19,900.
Don't stop yourself, buddy. Don't you eat nothing fried. This is crazy. You got it insane.
In the restaurant's 15-year history, only 4 customers have managed to finish this monster menu item, and so escape a waitress spanking.
If I don't finish the burger, I'm going to get spanked, you know, and I'm not ready for that, so that's why I'm going to attack this burger as much as I can. I think I took down 4 patties. I took down 4 of them so far. We're going slow. 2. But
even with his family and the whole restaurant behind him, the octuple bypass burger is just too much for his stomach to handle.
I won already, you know. I won, you know, because I tried it, you know. It's big and it's crazy.
Beaten by the burger, it's time to take his punishment.
Never experienced anything that big, you know, but it was delicious. I gotta say that. I knocked out, they say 1.5, I did 4. Okay? But it was great. It was great. I got a doggy bag, so this is filled with cheeseburgers.
Bag too.
As evening falls, it's nearly curtain up on Dominique's debut in Vegas the Show. Tonight's her only chance to prove to producer David that his thousands of dollars of investment in her has been worth it.
I'm pretty nervous. This is my first show on the Las Vegas Strip. There are going to be people out in the audience tonight that have paid hundreds of dollars for their tickets, and we have to give them the show of their lives. So I'm really feeling it.
As her fellow cast members finish getting ready, Dominique finds a quiet spot to run through her lines and moves one last time.
I'm feeling nervous. When I get nervous, I just have to throw up immediately. So, hopefully that doesn't happen tonight.
Tonight, there's a little bit of magic in this light, and I like to use it to show you what Vegas used to be like.
Show started.
Are you ready?
Feeling like, can't even tell you my name right now.
After a final good luck wish from dance captain Jen, it's showtime.
Here we go. And now, the star of the season, the beautiful Miss Pearl.
As Dominique belts out her opening number, she's unaware that David's watching, alongside the show's director.
I love it. You go!
That's what we were looking for right there. She can just keep that energy.
Her first song may have gone well, but there's no time to celebrate. There are 5 quick costume changes to come, along with one of the show's trickiest routines.
Good.
The high-energy French section of the show culminates in Dominique being held aloft. It's her biggest test of the night.
All right.
The lift has gone without a flaw, as has the rest of her debut. And now, after a quick change, there's just the finale to get through.
Beautiful job, beautiful job, beautiful job, wonderful job. Welcome to the family.
It was so fun. I was so nervous I was going to throw up in the beginning, and now, like, it was all worth it. It was all worth it.
Okay, here we go, guys. On the count of 3. Here we go.
Next time.
Wish me luck.
High stakes at the poker tables. The British poker aces taking on the world's best.
You're very likely to see people crashing out very fast. It's gonna be a quick one.
And viewing Vegas and its spectacular neighbor from above.
This has probably got to be one of the best jobs in the world. Not many people get to fly into the Grand Canyon every day.
And welcome to the naughtiest house in Nevada.
This is a flogger. They're great for like spanking, whipping the balls.
The girls who'll cater for every visitor's wish.
$20,000 will get you an overnight party with me. So just have a good time.